You had to.
No, I have a lot of experience in this, bad experience, and I won a fight, but it's impossible. The injury was hard, so I asked UFC to give me more time to recover, but they don't. Yeah. They caught me. So.
You said you have a lot of experience with injury. Is that tough for you at this point in your career to have to keep dealing with this?
Oh, of course, man. Of course. You can imagine you train, you focus on a fight. You won a fight. You know your job, what you love to do, and all the time, injury. It's hard to understand what's happening. No, it's hard to find the motivation to keep going. So yeah, just faith. God have good plans for us. And let's go. Let's work. That's what I do.
I like it. Your last fight, obviously a heartbreaking result for you. What lessons did you take out of that? Was it just a freak thing that happened, or were there lessons to learn?
Oh, always I learn all the time. I hate loss. That's the worst way to learn. But you need to learn sometimes. Sometimes it's good you lost for learning something good, for you coming stronger, come better, and that's what I do. That's why I work hard for this time to get a better show for the fans, for the family, for my team, my coach. So, but it's hard. It's hard after 11 years. Lost again. Oh my God, it's bad taste.
This matchup with Clay Guida, a veteran, right? Somebody that's been around for a long time. Is that more exciting than maybe fighting, a young kid that's just getting into the sport?
Of course. I always look for this. Look for one guy, for big names, for rank guys. I challenge so many guys. Sometimes I ask my coach to send 3-5 names, and nobody answer. And now, after loss, they give me Clay Guida, big name. Of course I'm happy. Of course. Nice. That's the fight I dream for a long time. No Clay Guida, but big name UFC, legend UFC. And of course we give a big show for UFC.
Yeah. We know he's got great wrestling. Do you think he'll be willing to wrestle with you, or do you think he's just going to want to keep this a stand-up fight?
Clay Guida is hard to understand what he's going to do. I don't know. That's question need to ask for him, not for me. But I'm ready for anything. Whatever he's want, I have.
Nice. I think it's just your second fight here at the Apex, right? Any changes that things that you learned from the first time that you'll change because of the environment?
No. I think it's the same. When the door is closed, punch and kick, grab, put it down, and try to finish.
Yeah. At this point in your career, I wonder, do you feel like you kind of represent jiu-jitsu? Damian Maia went away. We still got Hani Yahya. I mean, do you feel like you represent Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or is it just you're a mixed martial artist?
No, always jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is my life, man. Jiu-jitsu bring me here. If I don't have jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu don't teach me how to fight, don't build me. Like the fight I'm today, nothing happened. I'm always jiu-jitsu. Nova União Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice. Are you thinking at all about the end, about how long you want to keep doing this? You've gone through all these injuries and you're still fighting. Are you thinking about the end at all?
Oh, I want to retire me. Yeah. No, I want to fight in the UFC, retire. No. I told all the time I talk to my coach there, and sometimes I ask him, what do you think? It's time? He said, no. You ready? He always motivate me, and I feel happy. That's I think this is more important. When you train and when you do the process, what's happening, né? You're happy to train hard to get the young kids, smash the young kids and see the fire in his eyes. Oh, I want to beat Leo Santos, I want to beat Jose Aldo, I want to train with these guys in a high level. That's making me happy. So why I stop? For stay at home or go to the office? I don't know. I don't see my life here without this. That's still make me happy, and that's what I'm going to do for a long time.
That's awesome.
Hope God.
That's awesome. Last question for me. So you got the fight with the legend. You've wanted it. So what's the goal here? Is it, just get a win? Or are you wanting to put on a great show? Is it go show, get a submission and show the jiu-jitsu? What's the goal here?
Man. The goal is fight with Guida, submit him in the first round, and go home and rest with family, be happy, and waiting for the day call me and say, let's go one more. Yeah. Oi, tu. Pode falar.
Agora vai. Léo,
Oi,
queria que você falasse rapidamente, brevemente, sobre a lesão, cancelamento da luta, como foi esse período até você poder finalizar o camp para lutar sábado.
Eu tive um estiramento grau 2 na panturrilha, foi uma coisa que eu nunca tive e aí me deixou muito triste, cara, porque era uma luta importante. Eu estava logo após minha derrota, já fiquei pedindo Dedé a luta, que eu acho que podia reverter isso o quanto antes, mas infelizmente eu não conseguia. Eu tentei recuperar o mais rápido possível, mas era muito risco, porque eu treino como a gente treina muito forte, era capaz de eu tentar recuperar com velocidade e machucar novamente. E aí ia ficar pior ainda. Então a gente fez o processo todo, o fisioterapeuta que me acompanha pediu 6 semanas, então eu tive que apenas respeitar.
Bom, você vem de derrota, é um cenário inédito para você dentro do UFC. Como foi lidar com isso e qual é a grande lição que você tirou da sua última performance?
Eu já lido com isso desde 8 anos de idade, que eu compito no jiu-jitsu e já perdi, já ganhei várias vezes, então esse aprendizado de perder e ter que voltar mais forte eu já faço desde criança. Então, para mim, não muda tanto, não me abala tanto por eu ter passado por isso muitas vezes, entendeu? No MMA também não é novo, eu já perdi também. Então, é algo que me motiva a treinar mais, a evoluir, a batalhar mais. Não é porque eu tenho tanto tempo de luta que eu já sei tudo. Eu continuo aprendendo e eu acho que isso só me fortalece. Eu aprendo cada vez mais. A gente tenta não errar nas próximas.
Qual foi a grande lição da última luta? A grande lição que você tirou da sua última luta?
Cara, difícil dizer, né? Difícil. Para mim, aquilo ali foi um aprendizado mesmo. Eu vim com uma tática diferente do que a gente estava acostumado a fazer, algo novo, e não deu certo. Mas não foi algo totalmente perdido. Eu aprendi muito ali e é isso. Eu acho que não tem muito o que culpar, o que dizer assim, errei. Também, parabéns ao meu adversário também, foi mérito dele. Achar a oportunidade e conseguir terminar a luta.
Perfeito. Bom, sábado agora você encara um veterano, um grande nome, um hall da fama do UFC. Qual a importância que você analisa de ter um nome desse no seu currículo, digamos assim?
Foi o que eu já estou falando a todos, né? Guida é um grande nome, o hall da fama, é uma lenda. Então, poxa, eu super feliz e honrado de estar dividindo o octógono com ele, de estar podendo medir forças com ele ali. Eu sempre procurei isso na minha carreira, desde que eu ganhei o TUF eu sempre desafiei os melhores, tentei entrar no ranking várias vezes, não entendo por que não entrei, mas qualidade de atleta eu não devo a nenhum deles, por parte técnica, nada, infelizmente não consegui, mas acho que agora, depois de uma derrota, talvez eles comecem a me dar alguns nomes grandes aí, eu estou pronto para isso.
Onde você acha que você pode vencer? Óbvio, sem dar muitos detalhes da estratégia, mas como você imagina que pode vencer essa luta, uma brecha?
É difícil dizer, né? Mas eu vejo que o Guida ele tem grandes erros na parte de chão e é onde eu sou muito forte. Então eu espero que ele me dê essa oportunidade.
Perfeito. Aos 41 anos, Léo, qual o segredo para se manter em atividade? A gente acabou de ver o Glover, né, campeão, aos 42, 43 ali. E qual o segredo para se manter não só performando, mas motivado a essa altura? E se é um incentivo, uma motivação ver o Glover chegar tão longe na mesma idade?
Cara, eu acho que nós somos abençoados, né? Na verdade, se você... Pô, luto desde 8 anos de idade de jiu-jitsu, comecei no MMA um pouco mais velho, mas se você ver as pessoas que eu já enfrentei, muitas já pararam, outras nem competem mais, e eu continuo aqui em alto nível. Eu acho que é uma benção. É uma benção. E o que me faz motivar é estar feliz. Eu não me vejo... Toda vez que eu acho que está na hora de parar alguma coisa, eu paro um tempo, 1 semana, 2 semanas em casa e penso o que eu vou fazer, o que eu quero fazer, o que me faz feliz. E não vejo, só vejo lá a academia, o Dedé gritando no meu ouvido, a molecada treinando. Então, por falta de motivação, não é, cara. Se eu parar alguma coisa, mas falta de motivação hoje em dia, não. Não tenho isso, sou um cara bem feliz com o que eu faço. Gosto de estar treinando forte, gosto de estar me dedicando dessa doutrina, esse processo que a gente faz de dieta, sacrificar um pouco a família. Eu me sinto bem, me sinto feliz de estar fazendo o que eu gosto. Não sei até quando, mas você vê o Glover agora campeão, dá até uma felicidade, né? Dá até uma motivação a mais. Mas, independente disso, não é minha motivação estar olhando os outros. Eu olho para mim e vejo o que está me fazendo feliz. E isso está me fazendo feliz. Estar aqui hoje em dia, cortando peso, pensando no que o Guida pode fazer, isso é legal pra caramba. E estar cercado de amigos, né?
That was the question, right? There you go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice of you to show up. Oh, you could have just held your camera the whole day.
That's funny. Nah, I guess it wasn't working, so. It was in the wrong position. In the wrong position.
That makes sense. That makes sense. We'll see if that's the...
Now I understood why it was not working. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, Scott.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there you go.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay.
Now we got it. People on the stream like, what the? Brad, co-main event, face on the poster. I mean, does this feel like a big moment, a special fight for you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't see that poster till yesterday, so I was pretty stoked about that. That's a pretty cool milestone. I'm sure the same for Rafa. I think that's a good achievement on the fifth fight.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, all the storyline going into it is the relationship that you guys have, whatever. I mean, when this fight was offered, like, was that even a thought? Like, oh, should I take this, or is this, should we not be fighting each other?
We knew we were going to fight each other eventually. We thought that it might be. Obviously, we both had the intention of getting to the top 5, so we thought that we'd bump into each other maybe in the top 5 a bit later or something like that. But there wasn't too much of an option other than to accept this fight. So, yeah, I mean, everybody knows now that I just gave him a call and we had a talk and decided to fight. So, yeah, all steam ahead.
I guess there's no real value of training sessions 4 or 5 years ago, right? But, I mean, I just wonder about his style, right? It's kind of unique, but I got to think it's something that it's unique in MMA, but not necessarily unique to, like, combat sports. I mean, it's not something that you haven't seen before, right?
Yeah, I've seen similar styles, but his is unique. He's got like a funky way of moving, and he's got some pretty offbeat timing with his striking, but I'm pretty confident that I have the experience to deal with it. I've come across it before. Similar people, the way they fight, and yeah, man, it's going to be a fun puzzle to figure out in the night.
Do you try to get somebody to replicate that? I mean, can that be replicated by a training partner that's just trying to pick it up?
I got some pretty weird styles of training partners back home. Some guys that move like relatively similar, to be honest. Not exactly the same, but they do it. And so, yeah, I've had some weird looks the entire camp, so it's definitely helped.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, it just feels like you and your team are kind of like uniquely positioned to prepare for him, maybe more so than other camps might be.
Yeah. You could say that. I think we just have a lot of experience with striking and some very intelligent people on the team that can help me figure out how to beat him. So, yeah, I guess so in a way.
I think it's going to be an exciting fight. No, I wonder if I don't say disappointment, but you got a crowd-friendly style. People get into it, and then we got to come back here and fight in the Apex. Is that a disappointment at all?
Nah, not at all. I'm pretty excited about this fight, to be honest. I mean, having the crowd there is always awesome. I do prefer having a crowd, but not having the crowd there just allows you to, completely zone in and focus on the man in front of me. And yeah, like either way, man, I still get to work and I still get to have a fight and I get to go home, which is more important. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think on paper to us it looks like a fight of the night, right? But I mean, a fight of the night usually means that the action's going back and forth. So when you go into a fight, can you think of it that way? That like, I bet this is going to be a battle.
I'm prepared for it to possibly be a battle, but it's always nice to get the fight of the night bonuses if you're not too beat up. It's not nice getting beaten up every single time you fight, but it's like I said, it's going to be a very, very tricky fight. And everybody knows that it could be stopped very quickly, or it could be a very painful, long fight.
Heck of a win streak. You pick up the victory here. Obviously, a nice record. I mean, do you start thinking about where you belong? I mean, rankings. Are we doing now? Do we really need to be talking about what position you hold?
Now I know where I belong. I'm just going to keep letting my hands do my talking, and I'm going to end up there very, very soon. And all goes well on the weekend. I think that'll prove it again. I'm not really going to go talking shit or anything like that unless somebody really starts to try and insult me. But yeah, man, I'm just going to let my hands do my talking and get to the top.
Do you think about 2022 at all, like what the plan is? Because the world is so tough, especially in your part of the world, right? I mean, so can you make plans, or is it almost impossible to do that at this point?
We can now, because when I left, just as I left, I think they were decided to open up the country again in February. So from February, if you're a New Zealander, you can come and go as long as you're double vaxxed. So it looks like it'll be back to normal for like City Kickboxing and all the other athletes in New Zealand, which is pretty cool. And all the ones that are stranded and stuck overseas will be able to come home. So that's some good news, a bit of a reprieve for us. And hopefully, this new variant doesn't change anything. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't do. Yeah, so for us, 2022 will be good because we can plan ahead and we can get back to these 1 week fight trips.
We get this big card coming together, this big title fight that's going to happen. Is that a card that you want to see yourself on?
Yeah, man. The one next week?
No, I mean, down at, it looks, we're trying to get, Izzy and Whitaker maybe down there. I mean, if that comes together, or do you base your schedule around that at all?
I like to sometimes think ahead, but like that. But at the moment, like I'm fully aware of what I have in front of me on Saturday, so I'm just going to pour all my energy into that, and then I'll let you guys know what I'm going to do after that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Last thing for me, I guess. What type of fight do you think we see? Like I said, on paper, it looks like it's going to be a banger. Do you feel like that's what we're going to see?
I think it's going to be like a very satisfying fight, regardless for the fans, whether it's like technical, a war, someone gets knocked out. I think either way, it's ticking all the boxes for the fans, so they'll be pretty happy.
Hey, mate. I'm just curious, what is it about his style? Is it his head movement? Everyone sees the left to right head movement, but in particular, what is it about his style that makes him kind of a little bit quirky and a bit more unusual?
He's got like quite an offbeat rhythm, quite a unique flow to the way he moves and stuff like that, and his head movement is very good. But yeah, he's pretty good at distance, very explosive. But yeah, he's got a number of things that make his style unique, mainly those ones.
Are you expecting any sort of talking in there? I don't know. He's like a bit of a quirky guy. Like, are you expecting some maybe back and forth, or do you?
Yeah, I've seen him talk. I don't know. He probably talk to me. I don't know if I'll talk back. I might laugh or something. Sometimes I have a bit of a chuckle in there, but I don't know, man. It'll have to be in the moment to see how I reply. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be chatting. He always does. Yeah.
When you look at you two, do you think that maybe you guys are kind of the next generation of lightweights? We've seen the same guys at the top for a while. Do you see you and him coming up the rankings together and maybe fighting again one day? But do you see yourselves as the new generation? Yeah,
I definitely do see us as the next generation. I'm not saying that we're better or anything. I just think we're next. The guys in that top 10, they've been there a little bit, and then the 5 behind them are new. There's like me, Arman, Demir, Rafa. There's some really dangerous people coming forward. So yeah, that division, I don't think that'll ever get boring, that top 15. Yeah, it's pretty stacked.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Rafael, a co-main event, faces on the poster.
You know, this cage is like my kitchen. I come cooking some nice. You know, for me, this example is kitchen, like in my home. And when I come here, when I come to kitchen, I love everything here. You know.
Nice. Is there any value to the history that you guys have of training together? I know it was a long time ago, but do you think you understand how he thinks or how he moves because of your training?
No, it's so long time ago. I'm sure we totally different fighters from 3 years ago. And also, everyone say, "Oh, you spar together. Maybe you know what he do. Maybe he know what you do." No, in sparring we're not real. I'm not real punch him. He not real punch me. Also, and when we spar, like it's like fantasy, you know. It's like fantasy. We not do work for 100%. That's why he do not what he do in real fight, and I do not what I do in real fight. That's why it's not. We can't say like, oh, he do like this.
I know you're confident in your abilities. Do you think about where you would be in the division with a win here? This would be a great win streak. I mean, do you think about rankings and who you deserve to fight with a victory here?
Yeah, well, this fight, if I win this fight, of course this open for Raw top 10, open for more than close for this belt, and also everyone understand he is tough. Brad, he's tough. His skills, his IQ, all this stuff, and win him is open for me like big road, more than close to the belt. You know, this another challenge.
Last thing for me, on paper, you two guys' style looks like it'll be a fight of the night, very entertaining battle. Do you think it's going to be that kind of fight, or can you go in and dominate and get done early? What do we see?
Yeah, that's why I like this fight. That's why I close my eye like, oh, this is my friend and all this stuff. But that's why, because everyone want this and this interesting fight. Just we're looking the papers and papers say like, oh, this is good. And of course we try. I try for sure. I try to make some hot here.
You said that, you know, we can't really see anything in sparring because you're not doing what you would do in a fight. Do you think it's stupid that the media always bring up sparring? Like Francis and Cyril Gane, we're going to talk about their sparring. Do you think it's stupid and we just don't understand how it actually is?
I have a different, how I spar with Brad, like I always spar not hard. I understand sometimes we need spar hard. But if we spar 2 times a week so hard 1 year, my career done is like after maybe 3 years, you know. And I don't know how spar Ngannou with who another
Cyril Gane.
Yeah, how he spar together, I don't know. But I'm in Brett, we spar so easy, so light. We can't say like, oh, he do like this, you know. We never make war in a training, and that's why I say like that, you know. But maybe, yeah, of course, maybe have different sparring. Maybe he'll make a like fight. These guys make a like fight in the training, and you can judge us like what he do in a fight example. But in me and Brett is different.
Did you ever hear back from Hasbulla after you called him out after your last fight?
No, Hasbulla don't like me. Hasbulla.
I'm sorry.
Finish?
Jamahal, good to see you again. I guess we have to start with the arm update, right? I mean, I guess it wasn't as bad as we first thought. What was the recovery like for you?
It was dislocation. It was no breaks. It kind of just popped clean out of the socket. It's been tough, you know. Anytime you coming from an injury, especially one like that, it's gonna take some time. And me not being used to dealing with injuries, being able to do whatever, whenever, you know, it was kind of hard for me. But I know I just put the work in.
Yeah.
Put the work in to get back.
Obviously, there's a physical recovery process, but I wonder, like, that moment. I mean, mentally, was there like panic when were you seeing it all and seeing what we were seeing from the outside? Maybe like, oh my God, what am I going to have here?
I don't know. It depends on how you were saying it. You tell me from your perspective.
It just looks. I was like, oh my gosh, there could be some real serious damage here. This guy might be out for a while.
I thought it was broke. I thought it was broken, just based off of how it looked. Whenever it initially happened, I didn't know it happened. You know, because just like so, the arm bar was tight. You know what I mean, he pulled off a slick. You know what I mean, smooth. He got it in there. But normally, I'm able to kind of relax. You know, kind of use my joint, little extra extension in my joints and things like that. And stacking, which is why whenever I came back up, if you notice the part where people thought I was tapping, I was actually looking for my arm because normally my arm would be at a 90-degree angle. I have him bent at his abdomen, and I'm able to stack him and get out. But my elbow gave, so and I didn't notice it. So like I'm reaching for my arm, and then I look, I'm like, oh shit, he still got it. I was like, that can't be good. So whenever I realized he still had it, and I was reaching for it and it wasn't there, I'm like, that's probably not good. Then he rolled over. When he went for the triangle, I saw it, and that's when it kind of looked like a line, almost like just like where it was kind of not attached. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. When I seen that, the first thing popped in my head was, did he just break my arm? Oh, I gotta knock his ass out. It wasn't no thinking, oh, the fight's over, none of that. It was that 9-1 flashed in my head. It was like, oh, hell no. So I tried to do what I could to get him out of there.
That's awesome, man. All right, you know, obviously that was a heated build-up, right? I mean, any regrets? You know, I know you guys respect afterwards, and you know, kind of, you know, hugged it out or whatever. But any regrets at like all the build-up and stuff before it?
No, because I think it made for a good show. People like the face-off. Like I even watched whenever I watched the face-off video, I'm like, oh shit. Cause like right there in the moment, I didn't feel the tension, but from that camera angle, like from here, you felt it, you know. And it was good. It was fun. You know, but yeah,
it was a good build up.
It was a good build up. But one thing though, like as far as the elbow goes, like earlier that day, I think it was earlier that day, my elbow was already kind of like feeling a little off. I had PT scheduled for my elbow, and then I overslept and missed my appointment. So I figured like I should be good, I guess. Make sure I don't oversleep my PT no more.
So, I mean, obviously, armbar defense is the lesson. But, I mean, that first loss, right? Not fun, but that's why they say you learn lessons, right? I mean, did you take anything out of that you're going to move forward with your career?
Yeah. You can have the build-up. You can have all of that. But treat the fight as the fight. The fight is the fight. You know, don't be too irritable. Respect the fight. Respect the fight. Like it got so heated between me and Paul, like, you know what I mean, I started losing respect for him. And in that sense, I just told this to DC. In that sense, I lost respect for what he was capable of doing. You know, I could have kept it standing. That second pull down, he didn't pull me down. I went down with him. You know, it was just like, all right, now what are you gonna do? You don't do that in a fight. It's not like, oh, this guy wants to punch me in the face. Hit me, bro. You're not going to do that. You know, I shouldn't have did that. Yeah. I paid for it.
Good lesson. All right, so you get Jimmy Crute as the next opponent, right? Another highly talented guy, a lot of hype. So what did you think when this was named that they gave you to match up with?
I said, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Especially the fact he beat Paul Craig. You know what I mean? The fact that he beat Paul Craig, the fact that he submitted Paul Craig, that offers a lot to me, for me, as a test for me and to me. So, and I want that. I want that back.
Is it a bit of cruel matchmaking. You know, he had the weird injury with his foot as well. You had the weird injury with your elbow.
I think they set us up for the mean business. Yeah, I think they set us up for the mean business. Trust me, I done seen it all. The arm versus the leg. I think I seen a Thanksgiving Day meme. It was like somebody passed me a wing and somebody passed me. So I've seen all types of shit. Like the internet is undefeated for a reason. But yeah, definitely though, they definitely have to do us like that.
Talk about your preparation, man. Obviously, you had to get past the arm, but I know it seemed like you had some losses in your family and friends, that you had a foot injury. I mean, has this been a tough training camp for you?
It has. It has physically, emotionally. Yeah.
Was there ever any thought of not, of pulling out and just saying maybe this isn't the right time?
Nah, that's not an option for me. I got a family to feed. So. It is what it is. I gotta do what I gotta do, and I gotta do what I gotta do, But yeah, it's definitely been one of those emotionally type things, just one thing after another, But I'm here and I'm ready to go.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess. With that said, what's the goal here, man? I mean, obviously you want to win, but do you feel like you gotta prove something or get some of that hype back or anything like that, or is it just getting the W?
That was what I learned in my last fight. People keep asking me what I learned in my last fight. I have nothing to prove. I don't have to prove. I'm not obligated to show people this and that. The only thing I'm obligated to show is myself and what I can do. And if me being me ain't good enough, it is what the fuck it is.
Oh, man. I'm just curious, after the last fight, how exactly did the beef get squashed? How did it come that you guys started getting back on better terms and were able to talk it out?
Well, as far as that, with Paul Craig, honestly, I can say it happened with Paul being Paul. After the whole thing downstairs, the whole thing before when we got into it at the post thing, that was just me approaching you, letting you know, like, hey, yo, you dealing with a real one. You know what I'm saying? Like all that other, which later turned out to be shit that he didn't even know was said. You know what I'm saying? Which, because I looked at it like, oh, he's commented on the post. This person said this, so he had to have saw it, and he just condoned it. Just mistakes on my part. But after, I'm watching his interviews, I'm like, damn, this is actually a good dude. You know what I'm saying? By the time we were in the cage, we're standing in the cage, I'm standing across, I'm like, I really don't dislike this dude. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, all right, fuck it, we're all in on it now. You know what I'm saying? But after it still could have still been that way, but after he did he got up, he won, he took his lap, he took his victory lap, and he came up to me, and he over in my ear, he said, hey, I don't know what was said, but I'm a good person. I respect you. I have nothing but love for you. You know what I mean? And he showed me the type of man that he was. So it was only right for me to show that same man in return, because that's truly how I like to be and how I feel people should interact with each other. So after that, I'm like, damn, all right, bro, appreciate you, respect. You know what I mean? I stood up, made sure I stood there while he got his hand raised, went back, handled what I needed to handle. So I got done, right, at the hospital. I'm like, all right, we're cool. We get there. They're like, oh, we're gonna put it back in place. We're gonna sedate you. So I got that or whatever. We look up. Coach tapped me like, hey, yo, we leaving. We out. So we leave. We go get in the car. Get back to the hotel. Pull up to the hotel. Paul Craig's the first person I see. Paul Craig's the first person I see whenever I pull up to the hotel. And he just walks up to me with a beer. He walks up to me with a beer like here. He's like, and that's when the racist comments or whatever that were said and things. He had no idea about those. Then I seen whenever he found out about it, whenever they said something, and it was like, oh shit. From there we talked, chopped it up, let me buy you a beer. He told me I don't pay for beer, I don't pay for nothing. And he proceeded to get me drunk as hell the rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? So hey, we turned up, you know what I mean? It was fun. Paul got some moves too.
I was about to say, was that some
moves? He been working on the jiu-jitsu thing. He got a little, he can come to the barbecue. Damn.
Good stuff, man. Thank you.
Sup?
Still special to be in a main event, or are you over that now? Is this just what you do?
This is I can't how do I say this? I could definitely get used to this. Definitely not over it, and it feels brand new. You know.
That's awesome. Obviously, man, you've fought a lot of names, but Aldo, a legend, right? I mean, does this feel a little bit different even than facing a former champion or something like that, somebody of his caliber?
A little bit. I'll be lying if I didn't say it wasn't. Main event, obviously former champion, but it's a little different with the experience he has, how durable he is, and I just the guy's been around forever. People are crazy to say if he's old. Like, he's only 35 years old. Like, he has a lot more wear and tear than I do, but he's right there. He's put together two back-to-back wins. He's beat obviously Pedro Munoz, a guy I've lost to. So it's like he's looking sharp. He's making the weight. I didn't even think he was gonna make the weight when he first even said it. I remember he was struggling to make 45 for a few, and then So this is a dangerous fight. This is a tough fight, but this is the fight we need, we want, and we're excited for.
Is there any danger of getting a little bit starstruck? You know what I mean? Like I said, as a guy that I'm sure you were watching on the way up, you know what I mean? Is there any danger of getting in there and be like, oh my God, I'm in here with Jose Aldo?
Yeah, when I first even got into MMA, it wasn't through the UFC, it was through the WEC. So I started watching guys like Faber, Cruz, Dominic Cerrone, and obviously Jose Aldo. So it was kind of like. But I've been here before, with my debut in George Roop. I was watching George Roop at the same time, and I felt it probably not the same caliber again, but or not the same caliber of a name, but I used to watch that guy. He's probably the tallest guy I've ever seen. I felt that before, and I don't think it's going to be a big deal once I get in there with him. This is exciting, man, because it's like one of those things. Like, even when I saw the poster today, I'm like, oh man, all right, this is real,
It's awesome. Listen, you fought nothing but killers since you got into the UFC, but right now the run you're on is incredible. I mean, can you point to anything that what clicked to just start, to get this run going?
Yeah, I think for me it was more of like just kind of not trying to make everything perfect and not worrying about, how do I say, like, making everything perfect and not being afraid to look dumb out there, like, just go out there and just try things and figure it out. And once I kind of got that in me and like just really was like, nah, we're just going out there and we're just playing. We're not trying to force plays. We're just going to go out there and play. Once I kind of really bought into that and just really did it, it was over. Like, I just started having fun, started smiling, and we put 4 together.
That's awesome. How do you evaluate Aldo right now, right? I mean, no doubt his legendary status. Some people say he's kicking a little bit less these days. Maybe he's doing some different things. Where do you look at him? Is this guy as dangerous as anybody as you fought, or is he tailing off?
100%, man, 100%. I'm expecting a big right hands, big left hooks, and him coming right back to those low kicks and mixing in some wrestling. I'm expecting that. Hopefully he doesn't have to go all 5 rounds and I get in there and get him out of there, but I'm expecting to go 5 rounds as well. I think this is going to be a fun fight, entertaining fight, but I will be looking for that finish the whole time.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously you guys are both well-rounded fighters, but I think a lot of us are excited because it looks like it might be fireworks on the feet. Is that the type of fight that you're expecting?
100%, 100%. I think, guys, it's in his DNA. I don't think he doesn't know how not to put on an exciting fight, So, yeah, man, I'm excited. This is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly, like I said, we need, and I'm just blessed and grateful for this opportunity.
And we know this is a good fight. We know it's an exciting fight, but I don't think we know exactly what the stakes are, right? We know it's a big one. Yeah. But what do you think? I mean, are you looking at this as a potential #1 contender fight? Are you looking at this as, well, I get Dillashaw? I mean, what are you thinking?
There's some options. Obviously we have the champ still out, and I guess there's rumors of that fight happening again. I think best case scenario, and I'm not wishing anything on him if Aljamain can't, or he's not healthy enough to fight. I think we strip him of the belt. Me and Jan get in there and fight for the belt. Obviously they fight. Hopefully a big finish or a win does enough for me to get the title shot after they fight. But it's still TJ Dillashaw out there, so it's kind of like, all right, worst case scenario, we fighting TJ to get to the shot. and then it's still Corey Sandhagen, you know. So again, like there's so many options. I'm like, I'm not even thinking title right now. I got this killer in front of me, then I got 2 more killers in front of me, and then again, probably one of the best strikers out there is Corey Sandhagen, coming off of 2 losses, but he's still right there, you know. So I'm like, I'm not even worried about, you know, matching. I'm gonna let Tyson and obviously Sean do that. I just want to get in there, finish, you know, get finished with this fight, and then we'll talk from there.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, you laid out the scenarios perfect, right? I mean, but it's all like exciting options available. So because of that, do you feel like you got to go in here and make some kind of special statement, or is it just, you know, hey, I beat Aldo, that's all that matters?
Yeah, you know, beating Aldo's cool, but finishing Aldo's way better.
Yeah, I know you don't want to think too far ahead, but I have to say, if it worked out how you were just saying, to beat Moraes, Garbrandt, Aldo, Dillashaw before getting a title shot might be one of the craziest runs we've ever seen.
No, man, it's even hearing it, you're like, damn. Even if I beat him, when I do beat him, I still gotta potentially fight these guys. I'm like, all right, whatever, man, let's go.
Is that just a testament to how good this division is right now?
100%. And I think you know, the division stacked, exciting, and honestly, from the champion to the 15th guy, they're all killers. We're exciting. We all have power. We all bring, you know, that technical aspect to the game as well. And yeah, I think that, you know, 35 division is on fire right now.
Do you think Aldo, since moving down in weight, has kind of, after the first couple of outings, he's actually looked better the more he spent at bantamweight, right? It seems like he's starting to get into the division and get used to that weight cut. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. You know, he looked good in the first one. He fought Peter Yan the first one, right?
First one was Marlon.
Okay.
He lost. Then he got the title shot again.
Okay, so I thought I gave him that when I was watching. I think I gave him that fight, and then he looked good against Peter as well. And then he really put it together versus Cheeto and Munoz. So he's definitely looking better. He's making the weight. There's no issue with that. Yeah, again, this is another dangerous, tough fight.
Is he one of those guys? He's kind of like a fighter's fighter, right? I don't think, apart from, well, I'll get to that in a second, but there's not many people who want to say any bad things about Aldo, right? Because he's just been around forever. He's been a nice guy. He's been a good guy. Is he one of the people you can look at on your resume one day and think, man, I actually got to step in there and fight that guy?
Yeah, I do believe, you know, I can, you know, be proud of fighting a guy like Aldo because of how long he's been doing this, how much of a great guy he really is. You don't hear much about him, and yeah, it would be a privilege to fight a guy like that.
What did you make of Khabib's comments that you can't have 2 peaks as a fighter, and that Aldo's peak is behind him and he'll never get to that top tier level again? Did you hear those comments, and did you make anything of them?
No, I didn't really make too much of it. Hopefully it's true, right? Like, so, hey, man, shout out to Khabib, but hopefully it is true. But it's not looking like it, you know. I watched that Munoz fight, and like, he looked pretty quick to me. So I'm like, that guy hasn't lost a step. But, you know, hopefully Khabib knows something I don't know. So.
And last thing for me is, you know, it's such a weird thing, because in any other sort of scenario, I would imagine defeating Jose Aldo is a title shot, right? But because of the situation as the champion and the interim champion, and then TJ's reputation, is it kind of just frustrating to think that I can deliver the UFC one of the best wins of my career, probably the best win, and then I might actually be no closer to a title shot, really?
Yeah, I'm right back in that same position I was. I'm fighting the number 4 guy again, like Cody was number 4, you know, so I'm like still here, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I'm not mad, you know. It's, again, I'm getting the main events, I'm getting the opportunities, I'm getting the big names. This just sets me up for another big name.
Actually, one more thing. I feel like you've been one of the best guys in this division for ages, but kind of one of the most underrated and underappreciated.
Thank you.
Did you notice a difference after beating a name like Garbrandt, right? Because he's got a bit of star power. Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, 100%. You know, now I'm one of the top boxers. I'm like, well, I've been doing that the whole time. You know, like, I'm like, all right, whatever. I've been jabbing everybody since I started, and even like as the UFC been putting like obviously like the highlights up. They're like, wow, man, that guy's jab's crazy. I'm like, I've been doing that since the regional scene. But you know, it is what it is. You know, obviously you gotta, you know, I haven't been as active as I would have liked to, so that plays a role. And then, you know, then again, like, you fighting a guy like Cody Garbrandt with that following, you know, like there's eyes on that. You know, I believe that guy like a couple million on Instagram or something. Like, same thing with Aldo. You know, these guys, they have big followings, big names, and I'm trying to steal some of that shine.
I feel like the best boxer conversation is coming up every week now, and it's funny because most of them seem to be in your division.
Let's go.
But where do you give me the top 3 best boxers in the UFC right now?
Calvin Kattar, Rob Font. Oh, man, it's tough, man. It's tough.
You know, Holloway is going to say, "Well, I beat Calvin, so I must be better."
Technically, yeah, on paper, right? And obviously, you got to throw in Max as well, but yeah.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Coming up that stressful time you had with the USADA issues, and then catching COVID right away off of that, and then they call you up like, "Hey man, you want to take this title shot on short notice?" And you were just like, making a smart decision. How does it feel to finally make it to a fight week with such a big name like Jose Aldo, getting all that stuff behind you?
Yeah, so again, it sucked. I went from obviously beating Cody Garbrandt, going through that high, then getting a text from Jeff and Donna saying, "Hey, we need to talk." And you're like, "Well, what the fuck do we need to talk about?" Like, we don't need to talk about anything. Like, and they're like, "Listen, you popped for chlorophenicin." I'm like, "I don't even know what that is." Like, break it down. And then basically we had to go around and collect, or put together what I ate that week leading up to the fight, the fight week, and the products I was taking and all that, and ended up being all the cosmetic products I was taking, from the lotions to shampoo and even the sunscreen. So once we figured that out, it was all right. Now we got the proof. Now we just got to wait for the hearing. That happened. At the same time, we scheduled a vacation to go to Texas. So we got through the hearing, and then it was all right, cool. Where now we know that it's not going to be a year to 6 months. We know where we're at, and then we went out, had some fun in Texas, and then ended up catching COVID. And then so obviously we're quarantined for 2 weeks. Finally get done with that. Then we get the call, "Hey, you want to go to Dubai to fight Peter for the belt?" I'm like, "Oh, come on, man!" I'm like, obviously we tried it out, played around with a couple sessions, just wasn't feeling right. It was. I think it was more of like I'm trying to figure out everything just to get to the fight instead of just focus on winning the fight. And it felt rushed. I think collectively as a team, everybody was like, "Listen, let's just say no to this." You've been in the house, watching Netflix for 2 weeks. Like, think about it. And it was just like, yeah, but, and it was like finally we said no. And then, so it sucked for after that. After saying no, it sucked for like maybe 2 or 3 days, and then boom, we got the call. Jose Aldo. I was like, shit, that sounds even better. Like, let's go. Like, that's perfect. Main event in Vegas. I don't have to take that flight. Like, let's go. Perfect. It's not the belt, but it's just as good. No problem. Boom. Thank you, guys.
Tá bom.
That's okay. Jose, I mean, main event, Las Vegas. I mean, at this point in your career, is it still special, or is this just another work assignment for you?
Ainda é especial lutar?
Sempre é especial, né? Estar aqui fazendo a luta principal, principalmente estar dentro do UFC até hoje. Então, sempre para mim é um momento de muita felicidade quando eu estou fazendo, principalmente a luta principal da noite.
Always very special to me. The reason it makes me so happy to do these main events. It's just special.
I was thinking this morning back to 2009 at the Palms, your first main event here in Vegas, your name on the marquee. Did you know at that time, I bet I'll be doing this for another 12 years and I'll be in headlines and I'll have all this career in front of me?
Anos atrás, teu nome, né, numa luta principal, você imaginou que depois de tantos anos você estaria ainda nessa mesma situação?
Assim, às vezes quando eu passo, né, quando eu chego em Las Vegas, eu sempre lembro desse momento. Foi dali que eu pude aparecer para o mundo, né? Aquela luta contra o Mike Brown e ganhar o cinturão da WC na época. Eu sempre programei para estar lutando em alto nível, para estar vivendo esse momento que eu estou vivendo hoje. Então, assim, não da maneira que foi, eu não imaginava que seria dessa maneira, mas sim estar lutando em alto nível. Então, hoje eu tenho 35 anos e consigo fazer isso ainda, e eu tenho essa felicidade dentro de mim. Então, eu fico bem feliz quando eu volto aqui e vejo tudo aquilo que eu já construí.
Yeah, like I still remember when every time that I come to Vegas and I have this feeling like going back to when I fought the first time here, and it just makes me really happy. I always knew that I wanted to fight like in this high level, not in the way that it happened, but I always knew that there was a goal for me, that I was going to be doing this. So every time that I'm here, that comes back to me.
Yeah. Is it a weird feeling to be around like the other fighters on the card, because you're like a legend status? Nobody has a bad word to say about you. People look up to you. I know fighters want to take pictures with you. Is that weird to be in that position?
Estranho estar nessa posição de que todo mundo assim do card te olha como uma lenda e tal.
Sim, né? Ultimamente vem acontecendo bastante isso, né? Sim, a primeira coisa que vem na minha cabeça é que tipo, pô, parece que eu sou o vovô da parada, né, da rapaziada, que todo mundo tem admiração, todo mundo gosta do meu estilo de luta, me acompanha há muito tempo. Mas, por outro lado, eu fico feliz, eu acho que tudo aquilo que eu construí foi esse reconhecimento que eu estou tendo hoje. Então, assim, eu fico bem feliz e tranquilo, que eu sei que todos têm um carinho por mim. E, cara, eu sempre falo isso quando eu sou novo ainda.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I noticed that, and it makes me feel like a grandpa sometimes, because everybody says, okay, I followed you, I've seen your fights, like I follow your style, but it makes me really happy too, because in the end of the day, it's a recognition of my work. So yeah, it makes me really happy.
That's awesome. And somehow you're still only 35 years old, right? So I mean, how long can you keep doing this and keep performing at this championship level?
35 anos, quanto tempo mais você acha que você consegue performar nesse nível?
Cara, pelo fato hoje a gente pode ter visto, né, viu o Glover ganhar 42 anos, se não me engano, o título, então eu me sinto menino ainda. E pode ter certeza, cara, enquanto eu não ganhar esse peso galo, eu vou estar lutando em alto nível, eu estou lutando sempre da melhor maneira e buscando cada vez mais tá dando uma grande luta para vocês.
If you look at Glover Teixeira, and I'm still a kid, you know, like I want to continue doing this, and I'm not going to stop until I get this title, and I'm going to continue fighting like in this high level.
That's awesome. These last two wins that you had, how important were they for you? I guess just to maintain the confidence and know that you're still one of the best in the division.
Can you repeat, please? Sorry.
Yeah, so the past two wins that he had, how important were those to, kind of prove and keep that confidence?
As duas últimas lutas, quão importante aquilo foi para manter a tua confiança, tal, no teu jogo?
Sim, foi bastante importante, né? Isso mostra que a gente tem total possibilidade de ser o campeão amanhã. Então é nisso que eu encarei, né? Procurar fazer degrau por degrau de novo e assim se credenciando até buscar um título.
It shows me that I'm capable of like getting this title. another 2 steps to get there. It just showed me that I can be a champion tomorrow.
Absolutely. You fought the best in the world, Rob Font. What do you think of him? Does he rate among the best in the world? And is there anything that he does that not scares you, but that you have to be careful about?
Como que você considera o Rob Font? Tipo, o que você acha dele?
Sim. Eu sempre vou achar meu próximo oponente sempre um dos melhores do mundo, né, pra gente estar fazendo a luta. Respeito, como sempre vou respeitar. Eu sei das qualidades dele. Então, em cima disso, a gente tem que focar na gente, focar no nosso treinamento, fazer um estudo certo do nosso oponente para assim a gente possa chegar lá dentro do cage e vencer a luta.
I always respect my opponents. I know his qualities. I know where he's coming from, and based on that, that's when I focus, and that's how I get prepared for my next fights. So I know everything good about him and about his game.
Nice. Last thing for me, I know you said you always want to earn everything. You don't want to be given anything, but is this a number 1 contender fight? I mean, if you win this fight, do you feel that you should be in line for a championship next?
Você sempre fala que você tem que merecer, né? Mas se você acha que essa luta, vencendo essa luta, você é o próximo?
Assim, eu não me vejo ainda o próximo, né? Vencendo a luta. No sábado, ainda eu acho que eu tenho que dar mais um passo até conquistar o título. Hoje a categoria está meio parada, a gente não sabe quando nós vamos ver o Sterling lutando novamente. Então eu tenho que fazer a minha parte do outro lado. Então eu tenho que continuar lutando. E assim que eu sei cada vez mais que eu vencer dentro do cage, eu estarei perto do título.
Yeah, no. So now the division is a little bit weird, right? So I think that if I win this fight, I'm not going to the title right away. I think that I have one more step before going to the title.
Do you believe that step could be against TJ Dillashaw or someone else?
Esse passo antes do cinturão poderia ser o TJ?
Poderia sim, poderia, né? Acho que a gente, pelo fato de não saber de quando o campeão vai unificar o título, a gente não sabe o que vai acontecer. Então, o Dillashaw hoje, eu vejo ele como o próximo desafiante ao título. Mas não sei se ele fica tanto tempo esperando até isso acontecer.
I don't know, like when the champion is going to, like when they're going to unify the title, right? So I see TJ also as someone to fight for the title. So I don't know how long he's willing to wait. So yeah, I see him like as the next step for me.
At the moment, this division is probably the best in the sport. So if you were able to beat someone like TJ and then Peter Yan, would you be more proud of this world title or your title at featherweight?
Se você vencesse esses 2 nomes, você se sentiria mais orgulhoso do que dos nomes que você bateu no Pena?
Acho que orgulho eu vou sempre sentir quando a gente vence, né? Então, assim, como eu falei, eu respeito todos os meus oponentes, todos os adversários que eu já lutei, mas, cara, eu estou em busca do título novo, né? Então, para mim, tudo é muito especial, né? É como se fosse a primeira vez que está entrando de novo dentro do cage. Então, tanto se eu vencer o Dillashaw ou conquistar o título, para mim, sempre vai ser um momento especial.
Yeah, I mean, I respect all my opponents and my previous opponents too, but everything is new for me in this division, and just like the goal of getting this title and getting to become the bantamweight champion, that's special to me, and I think that's what makes the difference.
Is there any extra motivation in proving some other fighters wrong who said that a fighter can't reach the top of their game twice?
Como que você sente, tipo, é um orgulho de você lutar no Bantam, no Galo, e chegar no mesmo nível em 2 categorias diferentes, em duas épocas diferentes?
Sim, né? Eu acho que, como eu falei, né, no começo, sou um cara novo, então eu tenho muito ainda que eu posso crescer e me manter nesse nível, né? Então eu fico feliz, tudo aquilo que eu programei no início da minha carreira está acontecendo, né? Então a gente tinha isso em mente, só que eu não imaginava que seria lutando numa categoria abaixo, e sim numa categoria acima, né? Então eu aceitei esse desafio no momento certo da minha carreira, e eu sei que eu posso conquistar isso.
As I said, everything like in this career, like the way that I perform was planned. I always wanted to be like in 2 divisions. I never imagined that it was going to be like in bantamweight. I thought that was going to be in lightweight, but it happened like this, and I'm really proud of everything.
Thank you.
Aldo,
Yes.
tudo bom? Recentemente no Brasil, em uma entrevista, você mencionou que chegou...
Lili, acho que depois tu vai ter que traduzir a pergunta dele. Ou ele vai... Ah, tá. Não, mas para todo mundo.
Não. Você chegou a mencionar numa entrevista no Brasil que chegou a pensar numa aposentadoria, né? Você poderia explicar um pouquinho melhor alguns detalhes do porquê, qual foi a motivação, a mudança, enfim?
Sim, acho que naquele momento quando eu lutei pelo título do peso galo, eu cheguei, sentei com o Dedé e primeiro perguntei se eu tinha capacidade, né, de estar lutando em alto nível naquele momento que eu vinha passando. E ele foi a primeira pessoa a apoiar e falou que eu estava em alto nível ainda, que apenas aquilo foi uma luta, uma disputa, onde foi muito diferente daquilo que a gente está acostumado a passar, né? Então a gente está na pandemia, eu não pude treinar como eu treino normalmente. E logo em seguida eu procurei coisa nova, né? Então eu procurei um amigo meu de Manaus e ele estava na seleção da Marinha, então foi ali que eu pude ter o primeiro contato com eles, e depois disso que eu cheguei lá dentro, cara, os caras me deram uma vida nova, com certeza, cara. Desde quando eu cheguei no primeiro dia, que eles falaram que queriam me ver de novo, lutando em alto nível, ganhando as lutas, vencendo bem. Os caras fazem isso até hoje, me apoiando, me ensinando. Então, isso que eu procurei, né, falar para todo mundo, que eles me deram uma vida nova.
Certo, não tem como não lembrar que essa não foi a primeira vez, né? Depois teve um período que você veio até aqui para Vegas negociar, chegou a anunciar que havia parado de lutar. Por não ser a primeira vez, existe uma dificuldade, talvez, de encontrar aquela motivação, uma vez que você já é sucedido financeiramente e profissionalmente? Existe essa dificuldade de sempre se motivar, de se pensar que talvez o final esteja mais próximo do que imaginava? Eu acho que sim. É assim que eu procurei ver em todos os atletas, né, cara? Quando você começa a cair numa zona, vamos falar de conforto ali, você já vê que já está, você está em busca, ou chegando ao final, né? Final da linha. Mas pelo fato de eu conquistar o título muito novo e ficar muito novo, aparecendo cada vez mais, isso todo mundo imagina que um dia que a gente vai perdendo seria o final, né? Mas não, acho que em busca de uma nova categoria, em busca de novas metas que a gente faz para a nossa vida, isso me mantém ativo até hoje, né? Então, eu posso te falar claramente que sim, eles me deram uma vida nova, me deram novas habilidades também, corrigiram muitos erros que eu tinha, né? Então, a cada dia que eu estou treinando lá, eu quero subir de novo dentro do octógono para demonstrar tudo isso que eu venho aprendendo com eles, né? Então isso me mantém uma chamativa, me mantém ainda no topo e lutando em alto nível. Show. Mais 2 perguntas, por favor. Tranquilo. Uma, o Rob Font, seu adversário, como você imagina ele como oponente, casamento de estilos, né? Onde você vê uma brecha que você poderia vencer? Sim, eu acho que é um excelente casamento de luta, né? São 2 caras que lutam para frente, são 2 caras que procuram lutar em pé. Então, esse casamento para mim nesse momento foi ideal, né? Para tudo aquilo que eu tenho que passar para vencer o peso galo. Então, eu acho ótimo esse casamento. Eu acho que os fãs, vocês ganham bastante com isso. Certo. Uma outra pergunta recentemente o Khabib fez uma declaração, inclusive ele te citou, sobre atletas que ele não vê a possibilidade do atleta ter 2 ápices na mesma carreira e que o seu já teria ocorrido no passado. Você agora nessa nova categoria, como atleta profissional de alto rendimento, você imagina ser possível ter 2 ápices? Você está em busca, é possível ter 2º ápice? O que você achou da declaração de um colega de profissão? Sim, primeiramente eu sempre respeitei, né, o Khabib, os fãs russos, tenho um carinho muito, muito grande por eles. Um dia, se eu tiver oportunidade, eu quero conversar com ele, sim, para ouvir diretamente da boca dele, não em tradução ou qualquer outro, algo do tipo. Aí eu posso entender exatamente aquilo que ele falou. Mas sobre o atleta conseguir ter ápice, sim, eu não vejo
como não, eu tenho um exemplo disso de todos os esportes, eu sempre fui um esportista e acompanhei muitos esportes, grandes atletas, e eu pude vê-lo passando por altos e baixos na carreira e conquistando de novo, né? Assim como eu, vou falar Randy Couture, John Jones, Anderson Silva, são pessoas especiais, cara, que têm habilidades especiais, cabeças diferentes e têm total capacidade de chegar amanhã e conquistar de novo, né? Então, sempre que eu cheguei no esporte, sempre me vi assim, sempre procurei tomar de exemplo grandes atletas quando perderam, porque isso eu sabia que isso ia acontecer. Só não vai perder quem parar de lutar. Aí sim, você não perde. Mas se você quiser conquistar, aumentar seu legado, você tem que ter exemplos que possam te dar a cada vez mais estar subindo. Então foi assim que eu fiz na minha vida, tomei exemplo disso, pude ver hoje de novo o Glover conquistando o título com a idade acima, onde que ninguém esperava mais, e ele pôde chegar no Randy Couture. Então é um exemplo que eu sempre tomei, que pessoas que são diferentes, sem esse tom especial, vocês não podem duvidar deles.
Para finalizar, então, você estava em Montevidéu, no Uruguai, você acompanhou o jogo do Flamengo contra o Palmeiras, final da Libertadores. Que recado você mandaria para os fãs flamenguistas, de repente, não felizes com o resultado, de repente você pode dar um afago, né, com uma vitória nesse final de semana?
Sim, primeiramente eu fiquei muito triste, né, com a derrota do Flamengo, mas eu entendo, isso é um esporte, faz parte. Acho que a estratégia do treinador, né, do Palmeiras conseguiu neutralizar nossos jogadores. Mas, cara, pode ter certeza, eu como bom flamenguista quero dar o meu máximo e vencer sábado, que assim eles possam vencer junto com a gente e ter um final de semana feliz. Okay, thank you so much.
So quite the adventure in getting to this moment, I guess. Let's, go back a little bit first. I mean, obviously the name that was supposed to be on the opposite side of the cage, a legendary one. You know you're going to get a great fight. What's the emotion like when that fight falls apart? I mean, is it disappointment, frustration, just business? What was it like for you?
Yeah, definitely. Crushed in a sense. Right away, the initial reaction was kind of just like, heart dropped, everything kind of fell to a standstill. I was playing video games, streaming, and someone in my chat was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I saw Brown tested positive for COVID." And I was like, "What?" And I got a text like, "Sorry man, I heard about the fight." I'm like, "Oh, what's going on here?" I went to social media and looked. I went to his page, and sure enough, he had posted on there, and I was like, "All right, guys, I'm getting off. I need to figure things out. What's going on?" And so it was just like kind of stunned at first. I'd say it lasted probably like 30 minutes though. You got to get that mindset back right. I talked with Sean. He said he's working on finding somebody. And so right away it was just like, okay, well, it's done. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's refocus. We still got work to do. It was out of, a week, a little less than a week left of, camp. And then going into fight week, still need to prepare for a weight cut and everything else. So just get right back to it.
So am I right in that you came here not really knowing who you were going to be fighting? I mean, you get on a plane and have no idea who the other guy's going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea. No idea who I was going to fight. I told him, I said, get anybody. I don't care, anybody. I said, I am fighting next Saturday. And he said, okay, I will find somebody. You will have somebody. And I got on the plane not knowing who I was going to fight this week. Got here, still did not know. Didn't really matter because I'm ready to fight, and I'm ready to fight anybody. Some people were calling me out on social media or whatever. That's fine. If I get a contract and your name's on it, you're the guy who's with the bad luck there. So, but their names didn't come across. I ended up getting Darian Weeks, and that's who it is. I'm happy to have somebody. Thank you to him for stepping up, and I'm just ready to go.
So when they give you that name, is there any let's check the guy's record out, or let's see? I mean, is any of that, or is it just automatic yes?
No, it was automatic yes. That's kind of how I go anyways. Contract comes across, hey, what do you think? If I'm healthy and ready to go and, I've been training or whatever, yeah. I mean, even if, short notice fights, if I'm, okay, not thousands of pounds away or whatever, but, yeah, let's go. I'll fight anybody. I'm here in the UFC. Yeah, I want to climb the ladder or whatever, but I'm here to fight everybody, not just, certain people, everybody.
Nice. So on this short of notice, do you even bother game planning? Do you get with the team and be like, or is it just no?
Yeah, not really. Just continue doing what we're doing, and I spend a lot of my camp anyways. Just getting better, sharpening my skills, and we do little things here and there for the people I'm going to fight. My team will definitely look at him and you see what they can. He likes to do this, whatever, but. It don't matter. We're going to go in there and beat somebody up. I'm just going to move forward on them and take it to them.
I like it. Last thing for me, I guess, your reputation is well deserved at this point. We know you can put on wars, but I wonder, how important is a win for you right now, right? I mean, you had some setbacks, so I mean, do you value the win over the show and the battle and the performance, or is it, how do you balance that in your head right now?
Well, I never go in thinking man, yep. I mean, I go in thinking I'm going to put on a show just because whatever performance, whether it be a quick finish, fast finish, distance, whatever, it's going to be a show. No matter what, that's what you're going to get with me. I'm going to come forward, I'm going to bring it, I'm going to put it on the guy. So it's going to be a show no matter what, if it finishes fast or goes the whole time. But, I don't go into a fight thinking oh, yeah, I'm just, this is what I'm going to do is make it a long war or whatever. It just so happens that's what it is sometimes, most of the time, I guess. But, I mean, winning is important. It's the most important thing, and no matter who the opponent is, I got to win, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to win, and that's just the plan, what I'm going to do, and take it to them.
Easy enough.
Sweet, thanks guys.
The craziest fight ever last, or at least the craziest result. I mean, when you think back about that, I mean, how's that fight going to live in your memory?
At first, I was real gutted and real dirty on it, but I look back on it now, and I wouldn't change it, honestly. Sort of got taken to school in the jab a little bit, learned a heaps, and I held my own. I felt like if the fight kept going, it could have gone a different way, but why live with regrets, man? Just learn from it and move on.
Nice. Was there a recovery process? Like, what was the actual extent of the injury?
There was nothing. There was a little tiny bit of nerve damage. I did my 2 weeks hotel quarantine in back home in Oz. Got out and went to sparring. It was fine.
That has to be more. Is that like make it more frustrating? Like as weird as that sounds, would you rather it be like a real injury that you have to deal with?
It's a very frustrating thing, obviously. You know, I limped when they just before they called the fight, and then as soon as they called the fight, I didn't limp again. So what can you do about it but laugh, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so 8 months to get back into action. I imagine you probably would have fought sooner if it was your choice, but was this just circumstances of travel and things like that? What took so long?
Yeah, so obviously I was supposed to fight in October, and for multiple reasons we couldn't fight in November. I wanted to fight before then. I wanted to get straight back in there, but because of the way that Australia is with their lockdowns and all that, and all the return travel quarantines and all that bullshit, I just had to take what we can get, and it was December. So hopefully 2022 we can be super active and keep pushing fights out.
Nice. What about the matchup they gave you? Obviously, Jamahal Hill, another prospect, you know, some hype behind him as well. Were you excited by the matchup at all?
Yeah, super stoked. It's a great fight. I was actually really surprised. I went, how the fuck is this guy back in action this soon? And then obviously we had to postpone it to December. But yeah, I'm super excited for this fight. It's a good fight for both of us, and yeah, it's gonna be fireworks. Obviously, I know I'm gonna get my hand raised, but it's gonna be a fun fight while it lasts.
Is it a little bit of twisted work by the matchmakers, right? The two guys that had the weird injuries are facing each other?
Two cripples. Nah, yeah, maybe, but if you look at the rankings, it makes sense too. And the fact that it's going to be an exciting fight, I think they put it together first and foremost because it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah. I know how confident you are in your abilities, and like you said, it looks like it's going to be a fun fight. But is there anything that he does in particular that you see that's especially dangerous? Or is it just another talented guy?
Just another talented guy. Oh, he definitely has his specialties. Obviously, striking is his forte, and we've got to be prepared for that range and speed he possesses. But at the end of the day, it's just another guy that I have to work out when I get in there. So yeah.
Yeah. I know you walk in there wanting to win, of course, but I mean, is there anything else like to prove something, to like get something back that you feel like you lost earlier this year or anything like that?
Mate, maybe if you had asked me that question 6 months ago, I would have had a different answer. But now I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm just here to fight. I like fighting. I enjoy fighting very much, and you know this is what we do. We're fighters.
That's awesome. And last thing for me, I know you said a busier 2022 would be ideal. I mean, do you let yourself think about what the goals are next year? Is it still a little tough, right, with the way the world is and everything? But what would be the goals next year?
There's no goals except for squeeze in 4 or 5 fights. Is that it? Yeah.
How we doing, folks? Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for being here.
John, how are you?
I'm good, man. Look, third time this year, right? Getting a fight in. I mean, when I think about last year, obviously didn't get to fight as much. So how does it feel to be staying this busy?
Yeah, it's great to be this active again, man. That's all I asked Dana White and Sean Shelby when we had our meeting a year ago in 2020. I said, please, man, I just want to, I want to stay active. I want to compete as much as possible. 2 or 3 fights a year would be awesome. And they said, sure. So here we are for our third one in 2021. It's been one of the best years of my career. Even though we're just, we're 500, but still, I think we put on some good performances against some pretty good names. You know what I mean? And we got another one come Saturday night. Leonardo Santos is no slouch in the jiu-jitsu game, so we're going to see if he can handle the wrestling game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about it. So is there something kind of exciting about finally finding a guy that's older than you are, man?
Geez, I remember I used to be the young guy. Yeah, it's been a long time since then. So yeah, we're going to show him. I forget what movie it was. They get older, and I stay the same age. Old Wooderson said it, man. So. In this case, yeah, he's quite a bit older than me, and we're going to make him feel that way in there because I'll be 40 in a week. I feel like I'm going on 20. I'm in better shape now when I was 25, and I feel like every time I look out my window at the hotel, I see Mandalay Bay where we made our debut back in 2006 at UFC 64, and it's just a constant reminder that we got a lot left in our gas tank and our reserve tank, man, and we're super blessed to be here, and I just can't wait till they get big crowds back so we can hear the Guida chant and get the people wild and get them on their feet. So that's what we're here to do, is put on a show for the crowd. That's what we've always been out there to do. And to do it in front of the greatest organization, mixed martial arts. We're blessed to be part of the UFC still. So 15 years later. That's
awesome. Alpha Male Gym, always busy, right? But I mean, you guys got some big fights coming up for the whole team. So has it been a little bit of a special feel in camp with everybody getting ready for these big fights right around each other?
Oh, no doubt, man. We got the who's who coming up. We get to see Cody Garbrandt is going to make big waves, I believe, at 125, the flyweight division. He's bigger, stronger, faster, more powerful than most of these guys, and he's going to show them what it's all about, I believe. The return of Josh Emmett, one of the heaviest hitters I've ever felt, him and Chad Mendes. I got to feel him, in the gym quite a bit, and no one can withstand the impact, the power, the precision this guy has. And he's gonna make 50K Ige, feel the wrath of Josh Emmett, man, to come December 11th. And then we got our badass little Brazilian guy too, man. Wait till you see this kid. He's something else, and he's an up-and-comer. And then followed by Darren Elkins, and the list goes on at Team Alpha Male. And our coaches, Joey Rodriguez, Danny Castillo, Uriah Faber, Chris Holdsworth, Mike Malott, Guillermo. The list goes on over there, and they make sure that we're all well conditioned, we're all healthy, and they keep a very, very good eye on us, and they know what we're doing daily to make sure that we're ready to peak come fight night.
That's awesome. So with this particular matchup, I'm curious because you said it. He's great at jiu-jitsu. You're going to show him wrestling. But I'm wondering. I mean, is this a fight where we best served to let's not play that game, keep this on our feet, or do you feel like you kind of want to go show the world that hey, I can play that game?
For sure. You know what? I'll always take wrestling over jiu-jitsu in a mixed martial arts competition. In this case, we just got to be very careful down there. We fought black belts before. We've beaten black belts. We've submitted them. We've been submitted by very high-level guys too. But once the ground and pound comes out, man, many have fallen, to the carpenter just because of our pace and our frenetic style on top. So, we're going to take him where he hasn't been before. He hasn't been pushed. I know Grant Dawson. I actually had him winning that fight until the very end. I don't think Grant laid on the gas pedal as a young buck, and an up-and-comer in the sport. I think he maybe, was just a little bit behind, and Leonardo's, veteranship kind of, took over in that, and he got, clipped with one punch at the very end of the fight. So we're going to really show him what a true veteran and, the cardio king is all about.
Everybody's well-rounded these days, right? But he admitted, he's like, I still kind of feel like I wave the BJJ flag. Do you talk about wrestling? I mean, do you feel like you kind of represent the wrestling community when you get in there?
Yeah, most definitely. Not bad for a junior college wrestler. I think we're top 4 or 5 in the UFC with most takedowns, of all time. That's behind the likes of George St. Pierre, Gleason Tebow, maybe Frankie Edgar, or maybe one more. So I mean, it's. that's just a testament to our wrestling coaches and just our pedigree. You know, we know what our strengths are, and we always go towards them.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, as you said, this would be a great win for you. He's a great name. 3 fights this year. What's the goal next year? I mean, is it another 3 fights? Are there certain names? I mean, what's the plan for you moving forward?
Absolutely. Just stay as active as possible. The older I get, the better I get, I believe. I become, more of a student of the game. We always reinvent ourselves. I feel like every camp, is a clean slate. Someone just told me in an interview earlier, this is our 55th professional fight. I feel like I'm walking out of the Mandalay Bay Event Center right now. It was 15 years ago, and I still feel very green in the game. You know what I mean? We're learning all the time, and we're constantly evolving. So the best is yet to come, man.
What do you think it is? You said you're coming up on 40, but you feel better than you have.
Just how we take care of our body, how we condition ourselves, our training camp. Capital Strength Performance in Sacramento. Coach Amadeo, has a very, very good strength and conditioning program for all the fighters out there in individualized and team protocols. And, just my running every day, fishing, my traveling, everything that, wrestling is, wrestlers are built differently. That's really what it comes down to. It's a mentality. We expect to win. We expect to be in there for the long haul. So I think all the things that, I do on a daily basis, my routine, my schedule, our structure really keeps me young, and that's what's going to keep us, going at this for a long time coming.
Now, you haven't fought 3 times in 1 year since 2011.
It's been a decade. It's crazy. I know it.
Yeah. Why do you think that is part of this whole thing? Like, things are coming together, getting better for you, or do you think some of it's, if you're with fallouts and if you're available? And
yeah, so I think, in the past, it's crazy to believe it's been a decade, already, but we were, always available. It was just kind of more timing and scheduling things. We'd have like 2 fights, and then the third one would be, just after the new year or the fiscal year, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So it was just hard to pack 3 in, in 1 year. And I think we did our best early in the UFC. I think our first year we had 3 fights, and then I had 4 in 1 year. One of them happened to be Fight of the Year, which we came up on the short end against Roger Huerta. But I feel the more active I am, the better shape I am, and I put out better performances.
So last year you had 1 fight. What was going on in your mind during that time?
Man, 2020 was the year people try to forget. I use it as a building block. 2020 is, I think one of my most successful years financially, believe it or not. A lot of things, I moved down to Florida, investments, things like that. Came up short in our only fight, unfortunately, and I learned a valuable lesson from my coaches to lay on that gas pedal even more, because that fight was maybe 1 takedown away from our hand getting raised. Yeah, that's 2021 made up for it in competition. And that's all we want to do is just continue to stay active and show these young guys that we still got what it takes to, to be the cardio king.
All right, thanks.
I feel like, we'll talk about fighting, but we're going to start with the suit. I mean, that's a sharp look there. Stepping the game up for media day these days.
Thank you, man. I'm trying to be a little bit better, a little bit smoother. Thank you to Mark Russell, Custom Clothing, man. He's the best.
That's
best
awesome.
in the game.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's talk about how you're feeling at this point. I mean, are you feeling good about the fight happening on Saturday? Are you a little bit worried that another opponent change or something crazy could happen on the way?
I'm just happy to be fighting at this point. Ready to get the rest of the job done, cut the weight, make the weight, rehydrate, and just fight and go home. That's kind of my thing. I'm just ready to do it.
What if they came to you tomorrow and they're like, we got some bad news. Chris is out, but we've got another guy. We've got another opponent.
The next opponent would be in. At this time for me, I'm pretty, simple. When it gets to this point, I've invested so much money into the camp, into myself, into being away from my family, whatever the case may be. I have to fight. There's no, I can take a little break. Financially, I have to fight. At this point in my life, that's where it is. And I still feel I'm the best in the world, so I should be able to beat anybody. So that's why I'm here to fight, and that doesn't change.
Yeah, definitely a solid attitude. Is it challenging to keep that attitude? You know what I mean? Is it difficult to be like, oh, now we got to prepare for another guy, prepare for another style, whatever the case may be?
Sometimes it is, but then at the end of the day, I just try to remind myself, especially if I have my kids around, that it's like, it's for them at the end of the day. It's for my children. They got to eat. My wife's got to eat, so I got to eat. So this is what I do. I fight. I'm not bad at it. So, and as I said, I feel I'm the best, so I should be able to beat anybody in the world, especially when I have a camp. No matter who I'm training for, I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. Everything's sharp, so I should be able to make the adjustments if I have to and get the W.
Chris is a guy that's obviously been around for a long time. So when they came to you with the name, were you familiar with his body of work, with his style, all that?
Yeah, of course. He fought my teammate last, fought another teammates before, friends of mine before. So definitely I knew who he was and excited for it.
Yeah, he's super experienced, right? But I mean, is there anything that he does in particular that you look at and say, man, this is a trouble spot. We got to stay away here. We got to be aware.
Not really. I feel like I do everything better than him. Obviously, there's, like everyone else, you have to be cautious. Everyone has a puncher's chance. And I feel pretty tough with any punch that I see coming, but still, you never know. So obviously the goal is just to make him miss and make him pay for that and go from there.
Win here, you'd have a nice winning streak. Of course, the person you had a setback to is at the top of the division right now. So, I mean, you pick up a win here. Do you feel like it's time for you to start getting some recognition that maybe you aren't? I mean, do you feel like maybe you're not getting the respect you deserve at this point?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of been like that kind of like my whole career. I've had some stumbles when I was younger and right in front of the bosses. So I've had to earn my way back. But looking back now, I wouldn't change it. It made me how I am today, who I am today. So it was necessary per se. And I guess you could say I'm happy it happened, but I feel like there's really nothing that I haven't seen, nothing that I haven't been a part of. So I'm comfortable everywhere. I feel I'm good everywhere. Mentally, physically, I'm just different, and it's still changing. I'm still evolving. I'm still getting better, and I turned 26 at the end of this month. So, still a lot more to go, and I don't feel like these guys. I feel I'm cut from a different cloth. I feel like I'm just built different, and I feel that way, especially fight night. I feel invincible, especially in the back. I feel invincible, and that's a feeling that I felt these last two fights, and they went how they went, and obviously my goal is just to get that one loss back in the UFC. That's the only one that really just sticks right in my side.
Do you keep chasing that one? I mean, do you just have to just hope it happens, or do you keep calling the guy out and hoping that he'll take it again?
Well, I think we all know here he's not going to take it again, which, if I'm being a businessman, okay, it doesn't make sense right now. Eventually the fight will make sense, and I don't know, man. He's a big talker, but to me it's a facade, and I don't like him. I don't like him as a person. I don't care for him. And I think that's what makes it real rough. And then it's just the fact that, like I don't care what most people say, but some people are like, man, and when you hear it over and over, it's like you got your ass beat. I don't know what fight you watched, but I won that first round. Okay, judges may give it to him off of a takedown, but if you go back and really watch the fight, he didn't hit me. There was one where he busted my lip when I stepped in on a jab with the last 20 seconds. Other than that, I parried his right hand the whole time, and it just gave me a brush burn. He was the one bleeding. He couldn't really walk. It is what it is. But I can't think of that, you know. Eventually it'll make sense, and that's what I'm focused on, is just me continuing to grow, get better, and eventually it'll make sense. And when that time comes, I promise I'll make headlines.
So let's say you win here, UFC comes to you and says, you're not going to believe this. We either got a title fight for you or we got Sean. It pays the same. It's the same.
Sean, I'll do it for half the money. The money's not the problem. Like, like when we heard Strickland pulled out, I literally text Mick and was like, I'll fight him and still fight Brad the next month. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a man first. And when you disrespect me as a man, okay, well, unless we have a contract, keep the same energy out here. Like, don't tell me you're building hype or you're doing this, you're doing that. At the end of the day, I'm a man. I'm not going to disrespect you as a man unless I really want to fight you. If I really want to fight you and I really want to hurt you, I'm going to disrespect you as a man. That's just, I don't talk about people's families. I don't talk about their religion. You know, I don't talk about those things. To me, those things are off limits unless you really have a problem. And he crossed those lines, and I feel like he's crossed those lines for many other people. But for me, I'm just, like I said, I'm different. I feel like I was raised from my father's real old school and real Southern, and he rubs off on me, I guess. I guess that's where I get it from, but I feel that way. Like what I say in these interviews, I mean that. It's not me talking shit. I'm not talking shit. That's what I believe. At that moment, I believe that. Could it change? Of course. If he come up to me and said, I apologize for what I said about your kid, things like that. The beef is squashed. Do I have respect for him? I have more, because you come up to me as a man and apologize. But I don't have like the ultimate respect for you at that point. But I have more respect, and the beef is squashed at that point. Do I want to fight you again? Of course. But it's not like it is right now, where it's like if I see you and you say something kind of reckless to me, we're fighting. Or if you even give me a look, we're fighting. And I don't care about the repercussions. I don't care about the penalties. I don't care about none of that. It's not about that to me. That's just how I am. I at some points I wear my emotions on my sleeves when you talk about certain things to me. So that's just how I am. It is what it is. I'm me. I don't change for nobody.
Well, you've convinced me. I want to see this rematch now. We need to get it done. Obviously, right now, though, you got Chris. So last thing I'll ask, I mean, obviously the goal is a victory, but, I mean, do you feel like you need to make some kind of statement, show the world something, like get this respect that's kind of eluded you a little bit?
No, man, I don't really care. I feel like I'm a top 10 guy. I've tried to get top 10 guys. I've had 2 opportunities at top 15 be taken from me from something outside of my control. And, at this point, it is what it is. I'm not going out here to prove something. I'm going out here to win. I'm going out here to get 2 checks and finish you. I'm coming to finish every time. And as long as I get this win like I plan to, I hope to see Darren Till next year. That's the one I'd really like. So that's my plan. But obviously my plans don't mean really too much if they don't line up with the matchmaking. So hopefully that's in the cards. Like I said, I've been right there at top 15. I've beat really good guys. I've beat the toughest guys that I could get my hands on. And I don't see why not, to me, but it's not up to me.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks.